Well, good day everyone, and thank you for coming back to the next video. Well, we went through the Passover season, the Resurrection Sunday season, and we didn't see anything come to fruition. I know there was lots of thoughts that things would happen and over the first Passover. And as I was drumming through my notes last night, I realized that I did a video and a study document last year about this same time, about the second Passover, and then I recall all of the clues that Jesus provided for us in the gospel message warnings about staying awake. And Jesus has this recurring theme about a man who went on a long journey. And I recalled all these connections to other parts of the Bible. So I want to review the idea of a second Passover, a second chance. So last year in May, I did a video about this, and I was saying, hey, this is some interesting information. So I want to redo that video here with a short summary. So if you go to my community page, I have a post here about the second Passover. And I want to go through this line by line, just because I put together my thoughts here. I don't want to skip anything, because I thought I put it together here the right way that I was being led to speak about it. So it goes like this. Will Jesus fulfill the second Passover as the man who went on a long journey? And I would say, based upon his words, yes. In the book of Numbers, chapter 9, Moses is instructed by God to allow for a second Passover when a man has gone on a long journey. And we know that Jesus has been gone for about almost 2,000 years. So the question is, will Jesus stand by his words concerning his coming like the days of Noah? So we've all read these words. Jesus said, for as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be with the coming of the Son of Man. And you can see these words here. He mentions it twice in Matthew 24 and Luke 17. Just as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be with the coming of the Son of Man. So what's so special about the days of Noah? Well, if you go to Genesis 7, the days of Noah occurred in the 600th year of Noah's life, okay, in the second month. Now we know that the door was shut and the floods, the rain began on the 17th day of the second month. And we could argue about when is that second month. Is it in the fall or is it in the spring? But really it's in the second month of Noah's life. But regardless, it was the second month. Okay? And we learn about the second Passover in 3 places in the Bible. And that's the whole point of this video, is in Numbers 9. If you just type in second Passover, where is this found in the Bible? It was instituted by God and delivered to Moses, when the warriors of Israel they were in a war, and they came back and they were unclean because they had touched dead bodies. So Moses went to God, and God said, okay, I'll give them a second chance to get themselves cleaned up, and then they can celebrate the Passover in the second month. So I see a connection between Noah's second month and the second Passover. Now, in the second book of Chronicles, King Hezekiah is the only place in the Bible where it is documented that the second Passover was actually kept. I think that's significant because of the things that King Hezekiah did in that second Passover. Was he brought the northern kingdom, which had separated from the southern kingdom a few hundred years before. Hezekiah, who was an archetype, a type of Jesus, who was the king over the southern kingdom of Judah, he invited the northern kingdom to have a reunification, a reunion gathering party. And it was in the second month, the second Passover. So that, to me, is an archetype of Jesus bringing Christians and Jews together. Okay, so let me go to my study document I have here. So basically, our God is a God of second chances. God provided a way for the warriors of Israel who had touched dead bodies and were unclean at the time of the first Passover by instituting the second Passover. And you can read it right here in Numbers 9. But there is always an extra clue that's thrown in that can help us understand the times we live in. So the Lord spoke to Moses saying, speak to the people of Israel, saying, if any one of you or your descendants is unclean through touching a dead body, which could be World War III maybe, or any one of your descendants, Jesus, is on a long journey, he shall still be able to keep the Passover, but he'll keep it in the second month, on the 14th day of the month, which is a full moon. At twilight they shall keep it. They shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Essentially everything to do with the first Passover, you do with the second Passover. It's a second chance Passover. So we know that John the Baptist made the declaration that Jesus is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. So we know the first Passover here. Jesus already fulfilled the first Passover when he died on the cross. And he was the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. He did this at his first coming. But what about his second coming? Will he fulfill the first Passover again? No, that's over and done with. But will he fulfill the second Passover as Moses instructs? Recall that many parables that Jesus told had a man who was described as going on a long journey. And Jesus likened himself to that very man. Secondly, in Proverbs 7, verse 20, 19 and 20 actually, Solomon speaks of a woman. Solomon's telling a story in Proverbs about a harlot woman who has a man, a husband who goes on a long journey, and we'll look at that. So Luke 17, Jesus began to tell this parable. A man planted a vineyard and rented it out to vine growers and went on a journey for a long time. At harvest time, the end time harvest, the reapers, Matthew 13, the owner of the vineyard said, "What shall I do?" He said, "I'll send my beloved son." Of course, we know what happened. They killed him in Jesus' parable. But the point is, Luke 20 provides us a parable of a man goes on a long journey and he returns at harvest time. That's Jesus. Matthew 25 speaks about a man where Jesus says, "For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted them with his property. Now after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts." Mark 13, we see the same reference, but you can see here Jesus is exhorting his followers to stay awake. But concerning that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, nor only the Father. Be on guard, keep awake, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey. When he leaves home, he puts his servants in charge, each with his own work, and commands the doorkeeper to stay awake. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come. And I added, at the second Passover, in the evening, at midnight, and when the rooster crows, or in the morning, stay awake. And in Matthew 24, Jesus describes, he says, "But concerning that day or hour, no one knows. For as it were in the days of Noah, so it will be with the coming of the Son of Man, which occurs in the second month." So we have a connection here with the Noah time frame, the second month, and we have another connection. It's my dog sneezing. Sorry. And we have another connection with this long journey, which is connected to the second month. And then we get to Proverbs 7. We have that harlot church speaking. "For my husband Jesus," now I added Jesus in there, "for my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him. At the full moon," which is at the second Passover, it's one of them at least, "he will come home." So I'll conclude with this. My dogs demand that I pet them. The days of Noah, which Jesus said would be like the days of the Son of Man. You can read about that in Luke. Jesus said that many people will be yearning for the days of the Son of Man. Now, I think the days of the Son of Man is when he lights up the sky for 7 days, like it says in Isaiah, and he heals the brokenhearted, as it says in Isaiah. I did a video on that 2 videos ago, I think. So the days of Noah were on the 17th day of the second month, basically the second month. Noah began to load the ark on the 10th day of the second month. So if we compare the justification for the second Passover, given to us in Numbers 9, we see that Jesus clearly provided multiple parables speaking of himself as being that man who had gone on a long journey. So he is, in a roundabout way, he's given us a clue on possibly when he would return during the second Passover, which is a full moon. Now, we can look at the dates on the Hebrew calendar, but I'm not going to go there. You guys can do that yourself. I don't know if this is the year. I think it's the year, but I'm not certain it's the year. We all want it to be the year. I want it to be the year. I know you do too. So guys, you can download this study document I have here about this second Passover, about this long journey, about the days of Noah that all occur in the second month. Let me see what else I have here. So guys, let me think here. I think that's about it. All right, well, with that, guys, have a great day, and God bless you.